All right. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Zan.
Jake, how are you doing today?
Fantastic. How about yourself? Welcome to the 27th episode, by the way.
Can you believe we're almost 30?
That's just
It's
like
wild.
it's a draining effort. 30 weeks is like over half a year. We've been on this for a while now, but we're not at 30.
Yeah.
We're at 27 of the Esports Rewind podcast. Welcome back to all our audio listeners and YouTube listeners. Hello, people.
Hello.
And today, as per usual, we're breaking down the latest and greatest and craziest in esports news. So you just want to bounce into it as per usual?
Yeah, let's do it.
Timestamps might be down below. They usually are. So let's kick it. All right, Zan, for my first topic, I'm just going to fire away at you today. I'm just going to fire fast, fire hard, and see how you react under pressure. Are you down for that?
Hey, let's do it.
Okay, so we're back at the topic about, player punishments out there in esports, and if not, or if yes, or if no, that players should be punished for what they say if they are currently signed to an esports organization.
I think I know what story you're referring to.
You might know the path I'm going down. For the audio listeners, I keep this notebook with me often. My mom gave me this notebook, and I write down my ideas in it.
It's
my latest it's a little cute little thing. My latest idea has been to write down player names and organization names that are tied to those players that have or have not reacted to their players when they have said some things they shouldn't say, whether it's homophobic slurs, defamatory, derogatory, racial. It's just things that I presume should not be said, but each is met with a different punishment. And so in the past week of me mentioning this, we've actually had Splice. They've had a member, Norskarin, their League of Legends team. He was caught using a form of a racial slur. And then a couple days later, a couple Brazilian guys from Red Canids CSGO roster both hit, one with toxic behavior and one with a racial slur again. And so, Zan, I ask you, in simple terms, whether or not it's derogatory, homophobic, racial, do you think there should be a punishment placed on players who say these things when they're tied to organizations? And what should the punishment be? Is it subjective? Is it a variety of things? What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a very complex subject because, of course, what is potentially offensive to someone is obviously not going to have the same effect on everybody, right?
Oh, man, we got the least offended crowd here in the YouTube section. I love you guys, but I swear to goodness gracious that the Reddit comments, Twitter replies, YouTube comments, people aren't offended by anything.
No, yeah, if you just read Twitter comments, you could believe that people be totally fine with you like
saying whatever.
Yeah,
you
just
say
like
anything, and someone out there's gonna go, "That's okay."
Yeah, but you know what? I respect your right to say that.
There's always one person that goes, "But words don't matter."
Yeah, right.
There's no meaning to words unless you take the meaning. I'm like, what are you? And I'm not trying to offend you guys, and I know you're getting to your answer here, but
no, but Jake, I respect your right to say that though. So how can they be offended? I mean, you have.
I think especially when it comes. My point is when it comes to a professional player tied to a brand, you're tied to an organization, you have to live up to some sort of standard. It's not you and your homies talking. It's not you and your grade school, middle school, high school, college buddies in a closed group. This is public stuff. And so when you're tied to an org who has sponsors who rely on you to be respectful, that's when it really, really matters, even beyond it mattering in other conversations. Anyway, back to the overall question.
Yeah, on topic with the question, I do believe that pros, I feel like they may not realize this because esports is still like a very new industry. As long as we've been around, it is still new and it's like actual current. We're all being professional state, like suit and tie type beat. And I don't know if players realize that they represent the org in literally everything they do publicly. And if you are a company, then do you at all want to be tangentially associated with somebody saying something that even if it doesn't make everybody angry, if it makes 50% of people angry, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of impressions or, sponsors or partners that possibly could be looking away because you have a problematic player.
Yeah.
I know it's not an easy answer because obviously it's so subjective.
Yeah, of course.
I've just seen it time and time again. I've already listed off the offenses, and I already have a list of orgs out there who have not really. They've maybe they've punished or come forward about it. I don't think I've seen an organization yet. Correct me in the comments if I am incorrect here, guys. I don't think I've seen a single esports organization, once they have signed a player, actually let them go based off behavior. Besides, I think I know of one from CSGO. That's a CSGO pro known as KNG. He threatened to kill another
I heard
player.
that. Yeah,
And so that's
that was really an extreme. That was like,
like
they were like, okay, if you would just call the person,
If
it
you
would have
would've
been
just-
okay.
anything but murder, KNG. Like, come on, man. But literally, like, besides that example, when it comes to toxic behavior, racial, homophobic slurs, I don't think anyone's ever let their player go. And again, we could be obviously wrong about that, but I think it's pretty crazy, and I think we are slowly approaching a time, especially where there is more and more money being involved. We will see more organizations, if not avoid these players, they will be let go, and they will be heavily punished for it. So I'm curious how it's going to grow into it.
You know what, actually, real quick, and I know, I'm sorry, that was a really nice way to end the segment.
No, you're fine.
But like, yeah, I think at this point, to your point, I don't know if orgs feel comfortable enough letting go players, especially in the middle of a season. Because then what are you doing? You're scrambling to find a new person.
Yeah.
You've got to get that person approved by whatever league you're in.
I definitely understand
really
it.
just derails things. And I think it can't be left up to the orgs for that reason alone. I think it would have to be, punishment would have to come down from either
TOs or
TOs
or even developer like the,
like
Valves or the
Riot.
Blizzards
Riot does that. Riot will absolutely reach out and be like, hey, you know, and that's the only thing that works, realistically speaking.
And I'm not trying to blame the organizations, because if I was an owner and
it's
it's
a tough spot to be
if
in.
you were paying 6 figures for a guy and he said a word which you may or may not be offended by, it can be tough to let him go if it's going to cost you an entire season in an esport. It's a tough situation.
Oh, and then, you lose all of your investment in that player.
Oh yeah. And then your investors are even more pissed off. And if you, it's complicated.
Yeah,
I think we're growing with it. I think I'm going to continue to expand on it here on the channel as well as esports orgs react. It's just a tough situation to be in, and I think it's going to be more influential as we do grow into an even bigger esports scene in the future.
All right, Jake, I'm going to talk about something real quick. It's almost more of a PSA in a way.
Oh.
But it was like, here at Esports Talk, we like to say we care.
I love
PSAs.
PSAs. This comes out. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
this
right
is
after,
perfect.
Yeah.
If you guys have not seen our PSA video, nice.
Yeah.
I love doing
It's
that.
all about cross promotion.
So fun. So freaking fun. Anyway, your PSA.
Anyway, so real quick, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they're an NBA team, actual NBA, like for real, right?
This ain't no esport 2K league, all right? Mark Cuban.
This is a NBA team valued at, I believe it was $1.3 billion.
Sounds about right.
So they got change, they got a little money, and so they just started an esports team relatively recently, within the past like 3 years or so, right?
Okay.
They're called Bucks Gaming. And
Bucks Gaming.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, they only compete in NBA 2K League, which
this is a common thing. This is really interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm curious what you're gonna say.
There's
next.
a lot of these orgs that pop up. They're just like, we're just sports.
I mean, to give people a quick comparison, I don't want to get you off.
No, go for it.
We've been talking about Mark Cuban, and we have more videos coming out about him. He's tied to the Mavericks, also NBA team. They're I think like $2.3 billion. They're primarily also in 2K League with Mavs Gaming. So we have Bucks Gaming, Mavs, real creative.
Yeah, right. They're just like, okay.
We have $2 billion. Let's think of a name. How about
we just take the Milwaukee part off and we add gaming?
We have our team name and we add gaming. That's pretty. I mean, to be fair.
I mean, they could have done anything.
What else are you gonna for brand? Anyway,
I don't know. I feel like there's something that could have been done there.
Yeah,
a little bit more creative.
But anyway, Bucks Gaming.
Yeah. Anyway, so they decided to have a contest on Twitter where they reached out to their community. They were like, "Hey, we want a new header image. Y'all design it for us. Give us, and we'll see. We'll pick whichever one we decide is the best."
Okay, see it time to time,
Yeah. Which at the end of the day isn't the worst ask. But the problem with it was they asked for a header in exchange for just like a free shirt, essentially, right? And the graphic design community got, understandably a little bit bothered because let's be real, companies like this have been trying to rip off graphic designers since like 5 minutes after graphic design was invented.
I should have seen where you were going with this, to be honest. If you guys don't know, Zan's, and you're kind of like our utility guy, but also graphic design guy. Sorry, I'm breaking my microphone as I'm saying this. So now I understand what direction you're going. So your community, not your community, but designers, obviously when it comes to making this kind of stuff, expect a bit more. You will not find this kind of work done for a shirt.
No, yeah, not for a company like this. I mean,
not
when it's
for like you said, worth $1.3 billion, and you're offering a shirt for esports.
Yeah, work. Right. Like not even like, let me give you $100 or something. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's like, and this would not even be a story, if not for the way they responded to everything.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because you hate
Come
to see
on,
it.
Bucks. How'd they respond?
Yeah, so some dude messaged them, or just sent them like a Twitter message, like very very basic.
Mm-hmm.
He said something. Well, he said bills can't be paid with merch. Select and pay a designer the the proper way. And Bucks responded by saying, "Yeah, well, get a job done."
Wait. So are there screenshots of these DMs?
Yes, there are screenshots.
So this can we call him a GD, graphic designer?
Yeah.
A random GD who did or did not submit work, just wanted to call them out and say, bills aren't paid by T-shirts, and they respond,
"Get a job."
They actually responded.
They actually. Oh, I will say in quotes. This is a direct quote. "Get a job then." End quote.
Oh man, because now I'm taking it different ways. Not only did they not have to respond on, secondly, you're asking GDs to do work for you, and then telling GDs to get actual jobs. Holy frick! And you want to be in esports?
Yeah, right.
Yikes.
Right. Like, so anyway, this is a PSA. Throw a couple bucks in there. It's not a big deal.
And we have seen this time and time again. We have several orgs out there who've had problematic social media teams and also around graphic work. NIP comes to mind.
Right.
We had another one recently. I don't want to get this wrong. Pittsburgh Embers, I do believe. The R6 drama we covered here.
I always get them confused with the other Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Either one of them. Do you have a bottom line for this to close on some sort of happy note?
I mean, happy note. We can look at some of the art that the designers did to make fun of them.
Oh, no. So you guys fired back again?
Oh, heck yes. It's all like, for those of you who can't see this, I apologize for our audio listeners, but several graphic designers took it upon themselves.
Dude, the first one. Sorry for audio listeners. So again, Bucks were told to they asked GDs to make some work for them, and now everyone's memeing on them. The first one is an obvious buck, and it says "No bucks for artists." And the next one is just freaking squiggles.
It's just MS Paint squiggles. That just says, I think it says, at Bucks GG Esports is our passion, like written by like a 3-year-old.
And then third one is just a squiggle of a buck. It's not even a buck. Bucks, pay your designer. Design is a profession. Oh my God. You hate to see it. PSA to all 2K or NBA orgs in esports. Don't trash talk GDs and pay. Actually pay. You're worth billions. And a lot of these orgs have already made facilities. I know Mavs Gaming, like a 20,000 square foot facility. Pay in cash. You don't got to pay much. Just pay something besides a T-shirt.
Yeah, anything.
All right, Zan, again, quick story, hitting you hard, hitting you fast, quick thoughts about this. My story is one that I think was overlooked by a large portion of the community out there, because I often find that now that I cover a lot of news out there and I try and make twisted videos, that I find things interesting that other people are like, I don't care about. But it doesn't stop me from sharing it. This is actually going to be what I think is a precedence for esports players.
Okay.
So recently we found out, I think it was actually 2 to 3 months ago, that OG, notorious Dota 2 organization, they've won back-to-back internationals. A couple of their players have ownership in that organization. Obviously a super cool thing. We found out about CSGO players, League of Legends players, other players who are now getting equity in the organizations. A super cool thing for the future. These OG guys have been rumored to actually be acquiring a CSGO roster. And so with that, we have now found out via Danish trademarks that 2 of those players who still currently play Dota 2 will now have ownership not only in their own org, like the Astralis guys from CSGO do, but they will now also ownership in their CSGO team that they're hiring the players for.
That's interesting.
And I do believe, we have Nadeshot, a former pro player, not currently playing. He owns his own organization. But now we have current esports players. Meanwhile, while they're playing, they own other esports players. And I think it's super cool. It's just super weird to me of a concept.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's a conflict of interest. And by the way, anyone who's curious, it's the OG Dota members, No Tail and Seb. They now have, I think they actually combined, they have about 60% ownership in OG for Dota 2, as well as the subsidiary company now registered for CSGO. They will own 60% of that. And so I think it's a first-time thing here in esports and a super cool thing. And I guess quick thoughts bouncing off you. Do you think this is the future? And if so, do you think we'll continue to see this more often in terms of a Nadeshot route of players going on to own organizations, or players still playing and trying to invest around themselves? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I 100% follow what you're throwing down. I think guy from TSM, Bjergsen, yeah. He did the same thing recently, right?
Yeah.
He acquired like part ownership, and I think that's definitely the smart move, especially as an esports player, because I think sticking with one team for an extended period, pardon me.
Whoa!
Yeah, you hate to see it. Yeah, for an extended period of time, you're not only building the team's brand, but you're building your own brand really nicely, because if you're in one place, then it's a lot easier for people to follow you and become attached to you, right? And in that same sense, they can get like a lot bigger return directly from their work if they perform well, if they can provide a deeper perspective as a player that an investor may not have. Like, they can see a return from that.
It's got to be a huge incentive. Like, you can imagine if you own something you want and you are a part of it, and you're working and playing for it, you know, all of a sudden when you play and you win or you do well, you're not only getting prize earnings, but your overall value of your company that you play for is going up. It's a very weird concept, and I think it's very cool to finally be seeing it in esports. We know of a few players here and there, but it's certainly over the past year and a half, 2 years, at least it's come out more that we now know players that are just straight up playing for themselves. And so it's super cool. Hopefully going to be more of a thing in the future. And I currently do believe these are the only actual current player owners out there who are not only currently playing in the esport themselves, but owning players in other esports while still competing. So we'll see if it does become a thing in the future. And yeah, sounds pretty cool.
Okay, Jake, this might be the first time, literally the first time on this podcast where I say I have a short story and it's actually a short story.
Whoa! God dang.
What a miracle.
We're going to find out.
Yeah. So, and it can be summed up in one sentence. Would you believe me if I told you a congresswoman was better than you at League of Legends?
Okay, that was a long freaking sentence. And I do understand what you said because I saw this headline and I'm surprised we didn't cover it. We do have a League of Legends content creator, but I guess we're just not covering all the stories out there.
Well, you know, we can just be like the other great company, let's call them The Point, and upload a story about it, like, you know, like 2 weeks later.
Dude, I hope no one understands what you just said, but I'm sure we could. Now, who are you talking about, for those that do not know, because I'm going to mess up her name if I try and say it.
Okay, yeah. The congresswoman's name is Alexandria Cortez, and I believe I pronounced that correctly.
That was that sounds right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give any political...
Yeah, we're not getting political about this at all.
Because I know that no matter who it is, and I think she as well has a lot of controversial stuff around her, although when I saw this trending, I was like, wow. Because I think my first thought is, Rick Fox... Rest in peace, Echo Fox. I think she's like, I think she's now. Forgive me if I don't know if I got it switched around. I'm pretty sure she's a higher rank than Rick Fox. I think he just got into Iron.
I do think yeah. When I was talking to you about this with my friend, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure though. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, they are pretty close in rank.
Yeah, she's silver 4, I believe.
Well, I think she's iron, right? Or was she silver?
I think silver.
Should we I should have clarified this.
I'm 99% sure it's silver because
I literally I'm pretty sure Rick Fox is an iron, and that like.
Well, I don't know league rank, so I literally don't even know if iron is better than silver.
We're really messing this up right now.
Yeah, all I wanted to say is that it is amazing that it is 2019. And we're at a point where our politicians are actually playing games to the point where they're ranked like this.
Yeah, let's just hope, because we've seen a lot of candidates out there, or Congress members, or people in that realm of things that support video games. We've also seen the exact opposite, though.
Right. I'd say we see more of the exact opposite.
I mean, we've seen a lot of them fighting against loot boxes, against pay-to-play things, but also I've seen some. I think actually in Brazil, I don't want to call out other countries out there. I think I've seen some actually fighting to get esports removed as a sport. So it's been a lot of back and forth. Either way, this story in itself, like. That's impressive for someone of that nature and power to have the time to progress.
Yeah,
to that.
right. Like,
because it's not easy.
That's
you
a
League
grind.
of Legends people, you guys are freaks. It's a competitive scene, just like any other out there. So you know, when it comes to having a congresswoman, correct?
Yeah, congresswoman.
Play the most popular game in the world. Hey, more power to you.
Yeah, it's great to see.
If it was D.
like
Trump doing
smile.
it'd be freaking even more controversial. But as of right now, we'll take it. But when it comes to
Alexandria.
But just remember, when it comes time to defend us, all right? We got your back on Reddit. You got our back up there in the courthouse. All right? All right, Zan, you give me... You know what? I'm going to try and keep this one short. I have no idea what other talking points we want to stringe off about this, but this is just a mind-blowing thing that I found out this week. Thanks to our Discord. You know, we've gotten a ton of DMs.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you guys who send us DMs or leave comments. A ton of video ideas actually not only coming from Reddit or other sources out there, but yes, Discord as well as our Twitter DMs are a huge source of that. This is actually one of our Chinese viewers out there. Huge shouts to you. I'm going to call you Zoo. He dropped some crazy articles out there. This one all around Invictus Gaming, which, by the way, fun fact for anyone who did not have an idea, and I assume it's a lot of people out there, Invictus Gaming is ran by one of the wealthiest people in China.
Who?
So
is it the Alibaba guy or
no, different.
Okay,
I believe. Well, again, I don't know. I don't know about that. I didn't look at stringent connections over here, but I believe Invictus Gaming is actually ran by one of China's biggest billionaires. That's actually Wang Sikong. He's worth $12.5 billion.
That name sounds very familiar.
And so it's Wang.
I know how to spell it. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
And so he's actually the son of what's believed to be the wealthiest billionaire in China. And I think his name is Wang Jianlin. And he's worth over $30 billion. And so it's just crazy to me to think we have come this far, and we've also covered so much esports news here. And I had no idea the entire time this Chinese organization was run by one of the wealthiest people in China's son. It's just like...
Yeah, it's weird. But to be fair, I mean, I guess why would you know, right? It's not like they want to be like, hey guys, check out my esports org.
This is the same dude. This Wang guy, Wang Sikong, has apparently gone viral. He's quite literally, to some extent, a lot like our politicians, our Donald Trump. He'll go viral for the weirdest things. I think he actually went viral for eating a hot dog at one point in time.
Yeah,
dude
I think that's exactly where I know him from. It's like just nonsense like that. Yeah,
dude is worth $12.5 billion. Loves esports. He is, to my knowledge, again, we're setting precedents here, Zan, the wealthiest man in esports, and he's tied to Invictus Gaming.
Is he wealthier than Cuban?
12.5 billion. It's got to be goddamn close.
Cuban,
oh shoot!
Yeah.
Frick you, man! Frick, he is the wealthiest man in Chinese esports. Frick you! So, besides his dad, who's stringently tied to him. Just a quick fact out there. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Then it also begs the question when it comes to this bubble popping. Invictus Gaming, they're probably not going anywhere.
No, yeah, that's
if you got
a pretty good chance. They're just chilling.
Yeah,
they're like everybody else is like, oh no, where are we gonna get the money? They're just like. Oh,
and Wang,
do you guys want some Mai Tais?
Yeah,
or like, you know, what's up?
Wang's looking up to his dad, like, hey, man. Like, so yeah, I think it's very curious to see where this will take things in the Chinese scene. If we'll see other Chinese titans or Asian titans or men or women of that wealth come into the scene because Wang is involved in this esports thing.
You know what? Actually, his dad, I think he as well. They're like really heavily involved in real estate in China.
I'm sure they're involved in a lot of things. Yeah.
And if you guys have been paying attention to the podcast in recent episodes, there's a lot of real estate development going on in China for esports.
Oh yeah.
There's a ton of land being bought up. They have a whole city dedicated to esports.
Yeah,
now.
all the video game cities that are kind of
they're all showing up in China.
And even disperse. Wow, we're so good. Disperse off that, dude. In America, there are a lot of real estate investors also going into the esports scene because we have a ton of cities going into esports.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned 2 podcasts ago or so, you know how cities are actually making a good chunk of revenue off of some events out there. And so we're seeing, I think it was Lee Zybin, I think he's actually backed out now, but a ton of real estate guys besides him are getting involved in some sense or another. So it's here in America, it's there in China, billions and billions of dollars, and I think it's going to just,
See, I'm not at the point where I want to do some investigative journalism now.
Yeah.
I want to see if like somehow this guy is making money off of telling his friends like, hey, you know, this esports thing is cool, so maybe you buy my building and then you can build your thing here.
Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna have connections.
We're looking into it.
Yes, it's not only Wang Jianlin and Wang Sikong. There are other people tied to this, and we're gonna get the freaking bottom of it. Either way, IG esports bubble don't exist to them.
Jake,
Zan,
I think I might have finally figured out Microsoft's plan for Mixer.
You know, I'm actually really excited to hear this because we've talked about this. Hello, audio listeners.
Yeah.
I'm leaning into the microphone. I'm just so tired today.
Yeah, I hear that.
For anyone who wants a little bit of a background, we've talked about this Mixer versus Twitch versus YouTube war for quite some time now. Zan's ultimate battle plan we talked about last week, and pretty much it revolved around having some sort of Amazon Prime competitor for Mixer to have. So we've been talking a lot about this. So what is now their next move?
Explaining this will take a little bit of setup. Have you heard of Project xCloud?
No.
Okay,
Making
so
it easier for listeners out
yeah,
there.
yeah. So if everybody's on the same page, great. Just give one general explanation. Project xCloud is Microsoft's code name for their cloud-based streaming service for their games.
I love how they code name things like it's a war plan.
No, yeah, right. And their code names stick around for so long. Sony's over here just like, yeah, it's the PS5. Xbox is like,
We have the xCloud.
no, I think it's the Scarlet. Ooh. No, yeah, but anyway, yeah, so it's basically Microsoft's version of Stadia, PlayStation Now, that type of service, right? And it's going to be working on phones, PCs, TVs, you know, everywhere, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
No release date yet, no pricing structure yet. Still very much, I think it's already in beta now, got good impressions, going into a broader beta next year for free for anybody who wants to give it a shot. And their whole thing with that, they're saying is going to really set them apart from their competitors, aside from maybe PlayStation, is the fact that they're going to have like 3,500 games available in that service at launch is their plan.
Sorry. So just to catch viewers up really quick,
Right.
Microsoft is trying to make this thing called xCloud,
Yes.
which will rival that of Google Stadia.
Yes.
Okay.
Or PlayStation Now.
Okay.
If people are more familiar with that, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand now. I've caught up. 3,500 games. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of games. It's a lot of games.
That's a big announcement.
Yeah, Stadia launches with 12.
Yeah. That's
Big
nuts.
difference.
So there's already competitors for that.
But we don't know when xCloud is launching. They have not said anything about a vague release date. At best, they said like, you know, more people will get to try it out in 2020.
Either way, that's coming.
Either way,
xCloud.
very interesting. Yes. So, how does this connect back to Mixer? Mixer's current problem, the core issue that they have is a lack of active viewership. Like they have
People get really pissed off when you
Yeah.
say that, but that's at the end of the day what I think is that's what.
Yeah.
But sorry, I've been reading a lot of comments lately that are like, Mixer's only been around for a few years compared to Twitch. You're right. You're not wrong,
Yeah,
guys.
you're
But
not
like
wrong.
when it comes down to it, I don't care if Mixer's been around for 3 months or 45 years, and they're not rivaling words. That you guys they're not competing on viewership yet. So
Yeah,
yes,
they're
that
just
is
like,
a key thing to work on.
And nothing that they've done so far has looked like it's had any kind of appreciable effect on that one thing, the active users.
It's had an increase, but not near as it's not.
not enough, not
Yes.
nearly enough to really matter.
And
at
I
the
hope
end
they
of the
can
day.
viewers can understand that.
Yeah, and this is not us hating on Mixer.
No,
This is
we
just us
actually
being
really
like,
love
yeah,
Mixer.
Yeah, I prefer Mixer to Twitch, like very heavily. But like, you know, let's
We can
be
all
real.
agree they have a lot
Let's
to
be
do.
realistic. Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
xCloud, how will this benefit Mixer in the future?
So one of the things Mixer already lets you do is like if you are a streamer, you can hand over control of your game to someone watching your stream.
You can?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
No, yeah, I don't know how many streamers actually do that.
sounds like a very scary thing to do.
Yeah, right. And Matt, can you only imagine you hand over your controller, you immediately see in chat just like typing like slurs, I
wasn't even going on the slur. I was like all of a sudden in chat just freaking Morse code or some kind of code. All of a sudden you're hacking and it's but yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, right,
Just a bunch of
right.
slurs and you're just done just like that.
Say goodbye to your career, right? But anyway, yeah, so they've got that already implemented. And one of the big things with Stadia is the ability to just be on YouTube and see a game trailer and say, hey, I want to play that, and just click a button and be playing it. Mixer could do the same thing here. Mixer could very much partner with xCloud and say you're watching a game from your favorite streamer, right? And you're like, hey, you know, I'd like to play this game, maybe play with them, right? It'd be super easy for them to just like say, okay, they're playing this game, here's a button. Click the button, play the game. Click the button, buy the game, just be in like that.
Yeah.
Play with the streamer, get more
Mixer
engagement
backed by
going.
Microsoft as well, for anyone who didn't know. So
Yeah, that's the only reason I think they would potentially
Microsoft
work together.
Okay, so Microsoft has xCloud, a future thing which might give Mixer, also backed by Microsoft, and their streamers and all of their viewers access. So if you're watching a streamer like Ninja or Shroud on Mixer, they're playing whatever game. If Mixer partners with xCloud, all of a sudden you have the access to the ease of a button to play the same game your streamer is playing.
Yeah, without downloading anything, without having to go through any like loopholes, it's just like, hey,
As
click
long as
it.
you're paying for
as
the
long
xCloud
as you're
service.
paying for the service, whatever the price is.
That is
Yeah, which is a question. We don't know what the price is yet. And we don't know if they're planning to do this, but in my mind, this is the only thing that makes sense considering they haven't already partnered with Game Pass.
But it also begs the question as to, what benefit does that have to the Mixer platform necessarily
I think
in terms of viewership?
I think from a viewership perspective, I think it could do a lot for engagement. Like let's say with Mixer, you're watching your favorite guy play a stream, right? And Mixer is like, hey, you can join this person's lobby. Or like say they're playing an open world game and hopping in the same session.
Yeah, see, that's a different picture than just getting the game itself.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, just having the game itself there opens up a lot of possibilities if it's all interconnected.
Yeah. I don't think it would hurt the platform at all,
Yeah,
obviously.
I think they could do stuff with like loot drops. They could run that through xCloud.
Yeah.
Like get free items in game, just go through there. And so people would actually have a good reason to show up.
And then on top of that, you need some sort of Xbox Game Pass, free subscription ties as well. I think it also benefits xCloud a lot. Maybe Mixer, maybe not so much.
Hey, well, at the end of the day, Microsoft is making the money, so who cares to a certain extent?
My last point would be when it comes to most of the streamers they're watching right now, like Shroud's a variety streamer, but I wouldn't say heavy variety. Ninja's not heavy variety whatsoever, playing Call of Duty and Fortnite mainly right now. So I think you'd have to have a lot of variety streamers, and then it becomes very beneficial, like a Lyric or a Summit, and all of a sudden, yes, there's such heavy engagement, and those streamers have such high incentives to stream on Mixer because if they're partnered with xCloud and they're referring people, that's just bank.
No, yeah, it's more money in their pockets. If you can get some kind of xCloud deal between xCloud and Mixer where you buy one membership, you get a free subscription on Mixer or whatever, that would counter the Prime subs pretty nicely.
I think it's definitely an interesting idea, and I obviously we're probably months away, if not more, from that coming together. But it's certainly a good idea, and I'm sure that's one amongst many that Mixer has in mind that hopefully would.
Yeah. I'm just hoping to do something. They need to do something.
Yeah. I think everyone's in agreement that you can't just sign people. There's got to be something else here sometime in 2020 to come along with other streamers.
Right.
As we await more streamers going to Mixer, though, hopefully other big announcements do come with it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right, Zan, closing statements, my good sir. I know you have some for the viewers out there.
Yeah. You know what? As always, if you are checking us out on YouTube, hi, hello, thank you so much. If you want to listen to the audio version of the podcast, you can check us out on the Prediction Esports Talk Show Network. It's spelled right there, PREEDICTION. There's a ton of other great esports podcasts there too. So maybe you download the Esports Rewind. Maybe you find like something else that you're interested in too. Aside from that, Jake mentioned it earlier, but hey, we have a Discord. Feel free to join and come hang out, share some stories, talk a bit. We love to interact with people there. As always, feel free to send us DMs on Twitter. We love
DMs.
Love getting your messages. Things are insanely busy. I do not know if there's a word in the dictionary for how busy things are.
I know we say it every week, but it's just tiring, man.
Yeah, it's really kind of ramped up a little bit. Like we were already kind of at like 90%, and now we're kind of like at like 102 in a
something
weird
else,
way.
Man.
Yeah.
I think we just reached a point where there's endless content out there, and we appreciate you guys for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But for sure, we're back here same time as per usual, guys. Really been enjoying doing the highlight videos for the podcast as well.
Absolutely.
But always appreciate you guys listening into the Esports Rewind podcast, recapping every single week's worth of esports and gaming news, or at least some of the interesting topics out there. Until next time, that was episode 27.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. Hey, real quick, let's do a YouTube real quick. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, if you guys are
Esports
somehow
Talk.
still here, you're an absolute trooper.
Yeah, really, you're the real ones. We appreciate you. And when we say like, comment, subscribe, that does actually help us quite a bit. So by all means, please. Yeah.
But as always, thank you all for watching.
Mandatory.
Same time every single week, Esports Rewind podcast. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all back here sometime soon.